Hey y'all. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? How y'all doing? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? All right, all right. Y'all, I got us a good movie for us to watch tonight. We're gonna do something about I hate to say good, but okay. I'm gonna start off with a little bit of a documentary, not a big long one, but it's gonna like tell like a little bit of the real story before we start watching the movie. And then we're gonna talk about it as we go. Okay. Let me get it set up. I already got everything set up. And if anybody would like to come up with me while we watching, just say something in the chat so I know you're out there and I will drop you a link. All right, let me get the screen going. Oh, and the movie we're going to watch is The Burning Bed with Farrah Fawcett. But first we're going to watch like the real deal, I guess, just a little something to get, just a little something. Okay, we're going to start with that. And don't forget to hit that like button, please.
This looks so good. I like this so very much. This is most likely going to be my everyday wig. The wig straight out the box. Wig is definitely a wig.
Even though I like to see if that Santa Claus get down.
What's in your wallet?
Yeah, I know that's a shame.
Con amigas.
All right, I got okay. Y'all want to finish watching that one, or y'all want to go into the movie? Hey, Anna, baby. Movie, you got it. Right. Screen. All right. Okay, let me make sure I got it stretched.
The suspect's mom, who says her daughter had been acting strange before the shooting.
So what happened?
Lord have mercy. That's heartbreaking, y'all. That's heartbreaking.
Been acting crazy.
Okay.
She told me she wanted me to get out.
Okay.
Then she came upstairs
For some
and
crack.
she started
Is that
acting
what he
crazy
just said?
in her bedroom. Then she busted into my grandson's bedroom and acted a fool.
I'm up here. I got the guns up here.
And
I'm walking in.
and acted a fool up here. Then I closed the door and tried to lock it.
Okay.
Baby would be okay. And she came in, she busted in the door.
21-7-2311.
Oh, yeah, cool.
She tried to
See if we
shoot
can
me.
get a phone number. We might be just fine.
And then she
I need you to stay out.
Give me
I
one.
need you to stay out.
shot the baby on the bed.
Okay.
And she was trying to shoot.
Meanwhile, outside, body camera video from a separate deputy shows the baby's father, and he's frantic.
So here, you need to go
Yeah.
away.
What's going on, squad? Are you dad? Dad. Hey, this is Dad. Is he good to ride? No, not back here. Okay.
Oh, fuck.
Hey, we'll get you there. I promise you that. Hey. We'll get you there. All right. Hey, help me. You see Westchester? Hey, Dad. Hey. We're gonna get you a ride. You're gonna go to UC Westchester.
Yeah.
We're gonna get your kids, right? They're gonna get everything they can. Oh, hey. They're going up to UC Westchester. You know where
Okay,
it's at?
yes.
All right.
Hey, get in the car with your sister. I'll take you up here. Hey,
UC Westchester.
let's go. Yeah. He's going to get a coat.
They're rolling with the baby. You guys are good. Okay. I'll get this. I got it.
As the baby girl and her father head to the hospital, first responders on the scene hear more about the shooting.
I saw when I got upstairs, I brought my gun just for safety.
Yeah.
I saw one bullet discharge, still in the casing. I don't know if she took the gun with her, but now we left our kids at home.
Okay.
The same deputy soon works to clear the crime scene. The video goes blurry when he steps inside the apartment, but you can still hear all the conversation.
Well, let's keep everybody out of there.
They're going to go to UC Westchester.
Okay. Well,
I know
I'm
everybody's
right back
going.
in there.
We need to go.
Who's in there right now?
Nobody should be in there right now.
There is somebody.
Hello. Hi. Do you know what's going on?
At 11.
Okay.
On call. Call me.
Who is it? Okay, and what's her name? Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know where any of her information is?
Probably in her room upstairs in that purse.
Okay.
That's not her purse.
Did you already get her oil in and everything?
Hers? Yes.
No. Mom, the mom of the child.
Me.
Your mom of child.
Y'all, I'm speechless. I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just confused.
We're gonna make sure we can get you up to the hospital. Okay. I just need information that I can get about Mia. Or is it?
You want Mia's? I had to go to Mia's bedroom and try to see.
Okay, I'll go up there with you and try to see if we can find anything like that.
I'm gonna get statement from her real quick.
Good. Take her.
2256. Last time it's been on block was 12/8 on 856 in Westchester.
Upstairs, deputies get an eye on the gun and later shell casings.
The gun's right here? Okay. I got
I'm
it.
a nervous wreck. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
It's right here by
Yeah,
my
I got you.
kids.
Don't touch it.
How would you
Leave it right
discharge your
Okay.
mother?
Outside, one of the first responding deputies makes a call explaining everything he knows
That's
so
a-
far.
That's a question.
Suspect Mia Harris.
So it needs to
Discharged
be.
1 round into a 6-month-old child. I'm trying to understand the relationship more. Everybody's kind of a panic. Mom and dad. I'm believing it's a cousin or something like that. They all live in the house together. It's Mia Harris, the mom, the baby, and the dad of the child. Mom and dad and baby are at UC Westchester with a niece and boyfriend. They drove dad up there. Young took mom up there. Mia discharged UC Westchester. Shot her in the right head, her right side of her head above her eye.
Who's shot?
Mia Harris did.
Who's shot? Who's the injured?
Who is shot?
Who's the victim?
It's a 6-month-old child.
6 months.
Yeah.
Shot.
Yeah, the 6-month-old was shot. Squad, I put her in the squad. Squad's already taken her up there. The child.
But at this point,
Okay,
there are
I
still
think
a lot of
this kind of
questions.
got to him because at
So,
first
That's
he,
what I'm
What was
saying.
his argument?
he just see, I
don't
don't
think it
even
was
like
argument.
him. I don't
That's
He
like
just shot the
him.
baby.
I don't know if he was crying. I don't know what was going on. I don't know if it was arguing between mom and dad. Everybody's too hysterical. I couldn't get any stories. The person that I found having the baby, I thought was dad at first. That's niece's boyfriend of baby. So the niece of somebody's boyfriend was holding the baby when I showed up. I thought that was dad. It wasn't dad. Dad was the skinny guy. I'm still trying to put all the pieces together myself. If that makes any sense.
So the girl that did the shooting, this is what Grandma said. She was in her room, got into an argument, went downstairs, came back up, goes in the room with the baby. She gets into an argument with whomever. She comes out here, starts getting an argument with boyfriend.
Okay.
He tries to hold her down. She pulls the trigger. She shoots around off in here, busts open the door, goes in there, tries to shoot Grandma, shoots the baby in the face, tries to shoot Destiny. We have the gun.
While still on the scene, first responders get word that the suspect, Mia Harris, is nearby, and deputies waste no time responding.
2311, I'm clear. I'm right here waiting for him. What's this?
Yeah, this is good.
Charge my different spikes.
Up next, this deputy throws down spikes in an effort to flatten the tires on Mia Harris's car, but she stops before that's needed.
Step out of the vehicle!
Mia Harris gets out of her car and is immediately ordered to the pavement.
Step out! On your face, now! I got lethal.
I got hands.
What?
Now, why they didn't just drag her out the car like they should have been?
Right away, Harris is taken to a deputy
baby.
squad.
How you doing?
Hands to your chest. Stand up.
You're in a really good space tonight.
The car with the open thing.
Yeah.
I'm wondering why she would do what would possess her,
right.
which it shouldn't matter, just the fact that she did this.
Do you have any weapons?
But now
anything
I'm
like that on
wondering
you?
why. I mean,
Okay.
why?
Grab a seat. Sorry. Actually, just trade them out. I'll put mine on.
Is she on drugs?
Here.
Yeah,
You want to put yours on first?
Everybody else 16.
Good.
You got a light.
I control by the department that we got. Oh, we pretty good.
Get that hand back here.
Nope. Keep that hand up here. You got light for me? Nope.
Keep
Nope.
your hand back here.
I'm sorry.
Not pregnant or anything like that?
No. I ain't never had to worry about nothing like that with my grandma. No, neither one of them. Great. Hey, that's. Oh, good.
Okay, I'm gonna do a quick first for you on that car.
All right. Slide in and wash the door for me. You can move your hands now.
Mia Harris eventually pleaded guilty to felonious assault charges just last month. She's since been sentenced to 9 to 12 years in prison. And as for the baby girl, she spent 65 days in the hospital and survived. Her mother says she will experience seizures for the rest of her life. Reporting for Law and Crime, I'm Sierra Gillespie.
Ooh.
Hardee's original bag packs 2 full-size favorites plus fries
But she still needs
and a drink for just $5.99.
And I want to
No
know
junior
why.
burgers or
Now
tiny
I have to
nuggies,
go look
just
up this
full-size
thing.
goodness for big-time value. The $5.99 original bag, only at Hardee's.
Okay, y'all, I'm getting ready to pull up Ruby Frankel. Hold up. I'm getting ready to pull that.
On May 21st, 2016, a local police station in Green Bay, Wisconsin received this alarming phone call.
How do I go about, missing person?
Missing.
It's my girlfriend, and she does live with me, and she's never done this before.
What's her name?
Nicole Vanderheiden.
This was the voice of Doug Dietrich, Nicole's boyfriend and the father of her infant son. The last time he'd seen her was the evening before, when they'd become separated on a night out and had an argument over text messages. At 12:30 a.m., Nicole walked out of a bar called the Sardine Can and was never seen again by her boyfriend or by anyone else. Anyone, that is, except her killer.
Let me pull this up. There we go. That same network, too.
You can see the wounds on the back of his ankles or on the front of his ankles.
Up here. I mean, I shouldn't be here. I haven't done anything wrong.
This is the right time.
Y'all see it? This is the lady, the YouTube girl who was making her baby sick, I think, for views, trying to kill her baby. She had Munchausen syndrome by proxy.
It is here,
We have just
making her
reviewed
child
the
sick.
newly
She
released
gets money
materials
and
in
she
the
also
Ruby
gets sick.
Frankie case, interviews, jailhouse phone calls, and disturbing journal entries. We break all of this down for you right now. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber.
I think the other one is the lady who
Well,
little boy
if
was
you
in
have
the
been
jail
following
with,
us here
I
on
guess.
Sidebar, if you have been
Or is that
following
the
the
lady
Ruby
who was
Frankie
helping
case
her?
from the beginning, this is a very big day. Utah authorities have just released a treasure trove of new videos, audio tapes, and photos in this criminal case. And I will tell you something right now. This is a lot. This is really important. If you want to know a new context, understanding, a perspective on what went down here, this is it. This is a comprehensive summary of everything that was just released. Now, before we even get into the materials themselves, I'm going to set the stage. So Ruby Frankie, she was the once popular mommy vlogger. She started the now defunct 8 Passengers YouTube channel with her husband, Kevin Frankie, documented their lives with their 6 children. It was eventually shut down in the wake of child abuse allegations. People took issue with their parenting techniques in these videos, like one child being forced to sleep on a beanbag for months, another one where the couple's young daughter was not provided lunch for school. But you fast forward to August 2023, and Ruby Frankie and her purported business partner, Jody
That's
Hildebrand,
what's gonna
are
happen
arrested.
eventually.
Each of them are
If they
charged with
don't,
aggravated
if she
child
don't do
abuse
better,
after 2 of Ruby's youngest children, identified as RF and EF, were
put them
found at Jody's
babies
home.
first.
They had been malnourished. They had injuries. Evidence suggested that RF was tied up. He
And
had
leave
duct
that
tape on his
jacket
limbs.
before
He
he hurt
sustained severe
somebody.
wounds. RF had
I still
actually
say that.
escaped Jody's residence, climbed out of a window. He was the one who ran into a neighbor who called 911. And that is when the boy's sister was found by police hiding in a closet, absolutely terrified.
Heard of this
In fact,
before.
the case summary that accompanied this
Did he?
document
He
release
didn't
reads,
get
quote,
locked up either.
the ensuing investigation revealed that Miss Frankie and Miss Hildebrand held Frankie's 12-year-old son and 9-year-old daughter in a work camp-like setting. The children were regularly denied food, water, beds to sleep in, and virtually all forms of entertainment. They were also prohibited from interacting with others and were hidden in the home when others came to visit. They were forced to do physical tasks like carrying loaded boxes up and down stairs and sitting against a wall without a chair or stool for hours at a time. The children were also forced to do manual labor outdoors in the extreme summer heat without shoes or socks. They were similarly forced to stand outside on a cement patio in the summer heat for hours and even days. They were beaten, and the 12-year-old was bound hand and foot after a previous attempt at running away. Additionally, the children suffered emotional abuse to the extent that they came to believe that they deserved the abuse. The
I'm offering you the opportunity of a lifetime.
Get Max for $2.99 a month for 6 months.
I'm going to make you so happy.
Max, only $2.99 a month for 6 months. Offer ends Monday.
How is it getting ready to start? Okay, I got to hit skip. Hold on. Let me hit the skip.
Step the clip into the cap.
Okay,
Pull the straps to tighten the back. Push the plug to fix the size.
Okay,
Tie the straps into
I got a
cap.
question. Good.
The investigation found that religious extremism motivated Miss Frankie and Miss Hildebrand to inflict this horrific abuse. The women appeared to fully believe that the abuse they inflicted was necessary to teach the children how to properly repent for imagined sins and to cast the evil spirits out of their bodies.
This is sick.
Unbelievable. And we know that Ruby and Jody, they work together as part of Connections, the life services coaching organization. Jody was listed as a mental health counselor. Ruby was listed as a mental fitness trainer. They both ended up pleading guilty to 4 counts of aggravated child abuse each, both sentenced to 4 terms to run consecutively, meaning one after the other. But in Utah, it's not up to the judge to set the exact prison sentence. It's actually up to the Board of Pardons and Paroles. They determine when these women would be released. So what we're talking about with the law is they can't serve more than a maximum of 30 years in prison. So really, it's about 4 to 30 years in prison as their sentence. That's what we mean. And by the way, I should also tell you as we go through this, when we talk about Kevin Frankie, he filed for divorce from Ruby Frankie. Keep that in mind. Well, after the conclusion of this legal case, the Washington County authorities released these materials. And with that release came a press release that reads in part, quote, Neither Ruby Franke nor Jody Hildebrandt appealed their convictions for aggravated child abuse. Pursuant to the Utah Government Records Access and Management Act and the practices of this office, all of the case records classified as public are now available. With that, let's get into it. First up, we are going to start with this absolutely heartbreaking footage from a security camera outside of a home. And it shows RF, Ruby's 12-year-old son, after he escaped from Jody's home. And in this video, you see him in a long shirt and either what appears to be underwear or shorts going over to this house, walking over to the front door, ringing the bell, waiting at the door. No one answers. I mean, it appears he's emaciated. He has these incredibly thin legs. Looks like blood or wounds are on his legs. No shoes. He looks incredibly weak. But then we actually have this other video from when RF arrived at the neighbor's home, the neighbor who ended up calling 911.
Yes. Hi, I was just wondering if you could do 2 favors.
Well, what are they?
Taking me to the nearest police station. Well, actually, just one's fine.
What's going on, son? Have a seat there.
It's personal business.
Have a seat. What's your name? How'd you get here?
We then see video of these neighbors giving RF food because he was clearly so hungry.
He's hungry and he's been young, but he's had very stocking feet. So he escaped.
We need the police here now.
No.
And you remember that now infamous 911 phone call from that neighbor, very emotional. Well, here's a different angle. Here is him on the phone with 911 dispatch, but it's captured from his home surveillance cam.
I just had a 12-year-old boy show up here at my front door asking for help. And he's said he just came from a neighbor's house. And he's emaciated. He's got tape around his legs.
So the dad has the kids now.
Need someone immediately.
It's heartbreaking. It's just tough to listen to no matter what angle we're showing that. But let's go to the body cam footage. That was big in this release. And we're going to start it off with body cam footage of Jody Hildebrandt when she's taken out of her home by officers as they are searching her house.
Open the door! Jody, I need you to step out.
I have my turn.
That's great. Step out of the house.
No, I'm not going to step out of the
Step
house.
out of the house.
Step out of the house.
Whoa.
We're just going to see
Whoa,
everybody
whoa,
else.
whoa.
Is there anybody else home?
Wait a minute, how do you come to my house?
Right there.
Look, they come on into my house.
So have a seat right there.
Do you have a search warrant?
Have a seat right there.
Do you have a search warrant?
Have a seat right there. I'll explain everything after. Have a seat right there. We're here on exigent circumstances. And I'll explain it after this, after my sergeant and the officer are done clearing the house. Is there anybody else in the house?
Yes.
2 kids?
There's a little girl.
Just one?
She's right over here.
Okay. How old is she?
She'll be 10 next week.
Okay.
Throughout this video, you see Jody almost shocked, trying to fight crying. You see her at one point sitting on the couch, not really doing anything. Police then end up finding a child in what appears to be a closet.
Are you going to the union here? Hey, you okay? Is this just you in here? I'm Sergeant Tobler. What's your name? I just have one. Where's your sister at? Contact one. You okay? Huh? You doing okay? You don't want to talk to me? Yeah, that's okay. Can you come with me though? We got Jody out here. You know Jody? She's outside with us. You take your time, bud. I'm in no hurry. I'm a police officer. Did you know that? I don't mean to hurt you at all. You're okay. Do you need help?
Now, it appears that is EF. RF's younger sister, we believe 10 years old at the time. And it seems like officers think that she's a boy at first, maybe because of her physical condition. She was so emaciated. And there's a conversation more in these recordings where it seems that Ruby had maybe cut her hair or threatened to cut her hair. So that could have contributed to as well. But the child doesn't appear to say anything.
Yeah.
And then you hear an officer describe this horrific situation over his body cam when he's outside.
Underneath the tape. As soon as they took it off, you can, even outside, you can smell. You can smell the flesh.
I really have no words for this.
And then the transport, or put him in the ambulance. I went in there. They started cutting more off of it.
What happened? Okay,
but you can see the wounds.
Sorry.
The back of his ankles, around the front of his ankles, and then on his wrists as well. Yeah, he said he was tied on the ground with a rope. That's where the wounds came from. Yeah, with ropes on all four of his extremities. And that's where the wounds came from. They put cayenne pepper mixed with honey, he said, on the wounds, and then covered that with the plastic saran wrap and then the duct tape over the wounds.
There are a lot more videos too. There is body cam of police gathering evidence. There is body cam of searching a room behind a giant safe door. There is more body cam where there is no audio. There appears to be a video of maybe RF walking around a cemetery. But I have to call out this very disturbing video
like
of
that
RF in the
record the
ambulance
dirty
being
activities.
treated for his injuries.
I
How
mean,
did you get the ropes on you?
I get that they get. I guess
Who did
some
them?
kind of gratifications on it.
You're not in trouble with me.
But I mean,
Okay? We're just trying to figure out what's going on.
It gotta be worth
Our main focus right now is
when
you.
what ends
Okay?
up happening is
Who put the ropes on you?
that video be used as evidence against me.
Supposed to help you what?
And I will tell you, going through this today was not easy. It is incredibly difficult.
And some
But
people
imagine
say
being one
snake.
of the first responders to
That
this scene.
videotape is your snake.
Here's an EMT worker fighting back tears.
Why would you?
I'll take more. Or do you want me to? Is that in view?
Now let's talk about Ruby Frankie, because there is also this video of when Ruby arrives at the house. She was informed the police were there. She shows up, and you see her being patted down, and she just sits on the couch at one point. Doesn't say a word. In fact, she's not very responsive to officers in general.
Place your hand on your back for me. Perfect. You don't have anything on you that I should know about, correct? Any weapons, anything that we're going to find. Before you put you in a police vehicle, we need to search your person to make sure you don't have anything on you. Is there anything you have on you? Okay, I'm going to search you before we put you in his car. That's just protocol, so I'm just going to have you step right over here. And then just widen your legs, widen your stance. Yep, perfect. Are you wearing a bra? Okay, I'm just going to go like this through and make sure you don't have anything. You said you're not wearing a bra? Okay.
Now, she admits in one of her jailhouse recordings, oh, don't worry, we're going to get into those, where she said she purposely didn't say anything to law enforcement. It seemed like that was the advice that she got from her counsel, to not say anything. But even when she's brought to the station, she's not really cooperative.
Do you live down here or? Or do you live up north? Do you want to talk to me about where you live or how many kids you have?
I'm wondering how long
your husband
has it been going on?
Are those all together?
Who knew something
Those only your
and
kids?
didn't say anything?
I can wait all day. So it's up to you if you want to talk to us about what's going on.
I mean, I'm not asking any criminal questions. If you don't want to talk to us, just let us know and we'll be
have a lot of questions that I got to check in on this.
I've already told you.
A lot of questions.
You want a lawyer? Okay. Easy enough.
Thank you.
When I'm watching this, by the way, I can't help but be reminded of what Ruby said during her sentencing. You might remember this. Remember when she said that she was taught that the world was an evil place and it was filled with cops who control? That might be why she's not saying anything. That might be why she seems to have this distrust of law enforcement or doesn't want to talk to them. If she was under that distorted belief, there you go. Well, let's also talk about the video of Jody's interrogation.
I'm a little nervous.
You're you know, to be honest with you, if I was sitting over there, I'd be a little nervous too. So don't worry about it. We're just here to talk to your side.
I watched too many detective movies.
How yeah.
So I trust my attorney. He said, don't say anything. And I said, I have nothing to hide. And he's like, I know that, but just let me be there with you when we talk. So you guys seem nice people.
Yeah.
They're not trying to hide anything. They're trying to be difficult. This is really, if you knew all the pieces, I think you'd have a lot of empathy for what's going on. I'd like to just tell you, but I don't know who you are. I don't know if you're gonna flip my words. I don't know.
And that's the good thing about cameras. Everything, it's pretty much double recorded, audio, video, and it's for the safety of for you and for us, because we don't want to flip your words. And this will all be pretty much right there to support you. So we're not going to use anything against you.
I'd be so insistent then. He's an honest, good man. His church. I trust him. Why would he say that to me then?
I don't know your attorney. To be honest.
Well, I'm just saying he's a
good
good, honest man.
Yeah,
and I'm an honest person as well. So we get along great. And he just said, okay, do not say anything. I'm a psychologist. I've watched people flip things all the time. So I get it. And I sit on your side. I get it. I wish people didn't do that. They do.
And one of the final videos we got was of officers taking Ruby Franke and Jody Hildebrand to jail.
That's they deserve prison time. They deserve federal time. They should not be like 80%. No, you should do day by day.
Just put your hands on top of your head. You're good.
No parole. No air conditioner, no cable TV, no waiting room.
Thank you.
None of that.
We'll get you a card.
23 hours a day in a cell, an hour of outside time. That's what she's supposed to get.
We'll give you a card with the phone number. You
go out front door
to my vehicle out there.
Vid.ai is 90% off since it's Black Friday, and you can join right now at the biggest discount that this software will ever be. Vid.ai allows you to generate incredible, great quality.
All right.
Hop on in. I'll help you finish.
I had a crash on the right side of my shoulder. Screwed up.
Okay. All right.
You need to be in an outside prison.
Go and face that officer.
They can't fall at night. They don't have an
And
indoor
unless your
setting.
fingers.
Everything is outdoor. They sleep, live, everything.
Look to your left. Thank you. I just don't want to hit you in the head on accident with the cup. Okay. Going down. Trace, you want to let you know what criminal charges for, so you're under arrest? It's going to be 2 counts. Second-degree felony of child abuse or neglect, okay? Do you understand that or no? Are you okay? I'm wondering if there's like a medical clearance that needs to, like, do you need medical attention before you go to the jail? Okay.
For the malnourishment, you guys are in direct custody of those kids. Okay, do you have any questions for me at this time? No questions? Okay, you can hop in.
Now, we also received a lot of photos from Utah authorities in this document dump. Many of them show the inside and outside of Jody Hildebrand's home in Ivins. The house itself is huge with staircases, corridors, doors, every direction the police looked at as they searched the home. We never really got a good grasp of what this house was like until now. Some of the photographs show evidence that investigators were compiling against the women, including pictures of the duct tape, rope, gauze, the cayenne pepper and honey solution that they used to treat wounds. Other pictures showed pantries full of food that the children were clearly not allowed to eat. And still, there were these other photos that showed the actual wounds to both RF and EF. And I will tell you,
that's the food to
they are
show the
just too graphic
government
to
if
show.
they happen to show
They're
up
just
at the house.
too much. And as we've mentioned, RF
The
still
kids
had
are eating. Look at all
duct
this
tape on his
food. Look
ankles
at
and
all this
wrists when he was
food.
taken to the hospital with what appeared to be infected wounds underneath. And I'll say this, these wounds, seeing them, worse than I could have imagined. Now, Ruby Frankie's journal entries, that's what we're going to get into next. This was one of the largest documents released in this massive information dump. It is a 60-page journal,
welcome.
apparently written by Ruby
Come
Frankie.
on in, y'all. Come
Not
on
only does
in.
it give a timeline of events, but it records the brutal treatment of these two children. Some parts of the journal have been completely blacked out by officials. They've been redacted, but what remains, it really leaves nothing to the imagination. At the beginning of the journal, on a page titled Timeline, the journal says that Jody received a blessing from the temple president on May 21st, 2023. Then Ruby, along with her 4 minor-age children, went down to Jody's house to do, quote, spring cleaning. The first mention of punishments for RF are on June 30th, 2023, when the journal states, quote, he refuses to do wall sits and says he's done. The next day, it's noted that RF has to sleep outside. On July 14th, we have our first mention of EF. It states E refuses to work, screams, has hair shaved off. It also states that the next day, RF ran away in the middle of the night and Ruby found him a couple hours later. So clearly not his first escape attempt. So then there are several redacted pages, and then the journal seems to jump back in time to a little bit to July 9th and July 10th. On the 10th, the journal states, quote, it's R's birthday, and he doesn't even know what month it is. E and R have been in so much deviant behavior, they won't control their bodily functions. They are both furious. Their selfish, sinful lifestyle is being intervened upon. I told R he emulates a snake. He slithers and sneaks around looking for opportunities when no one is watching, and then he scurries. If he wants to emulate the Savior, he needs to be 100% obedient with exactness, no wavering, no hiding. No wonder that the prosecutors said that this was also a form of emotional
the fact that
abuse
she's
as well.
been journal.
Really putting
Man,
the blame
y'all,
on these
this
young children.
woman.
What do you think they're thinking? Then a few pages later, Ruby writes, quote,
I
E is
thought
better
the
behaved with
videos
Jody.
would see.
She likes to
But
think
come
she can still
on,
manipulate
y'all.
me. I gave her a
This
pixie
heifer keeping
haircut.
a
All her
diary
long
of
hair
this
is gone.
shit.
No more distracting with hair. R told me he would rather have a glass of water than me as his mother. And we know that both children were being denied food and water. Ruby even writes that RF was caught stealing water from the garden hose. Stealing? Ruby also writes, quote, E told me she figures they had been here 8 weeks. I asked E if she felt like she had made progress over the 8 weeks. Yes. I told her she was delusional. She made no progress. She continues to lie and manipulate. Last night, her screaming and headbanging were evidence of no change. By the way, we're talking about a 9, 10-year-old at this time. On July 14th, Ruby writes, quote, E woke up. I reminded her that if she whined, cried, or squinted her eyes at me or soured her face, I would be buzzing her hair. If she was going to act sick, she can look sick. She agreed with a smile. I told her because she didn't listen the night before, she would do 2 sets of boxes and stairs with a 5-minute break. She did the first set easily and agreeably. After 5 minutes of rest, she began whimpering. When she got to the bottom of the stairs, she slipped and dropped the box. I put her in the dog wash and shaved her head, then back to the boxes. This is disgusting. And we also know that Ruby and Jody forced the children to stand outside in the hot sun in the Utah summer where it can get up to 120 degrees. In a journal entry, Ruby writes, quote, when E was outside today and it was hot, she acted like she was dying. So pitiful. I told her the heat in hell is much hotter than God is going to burn the wicked. So either get used to it or start changing. The journal also describes what happened when RF ran away in July. He had been made to sleep outside on the patio near Ruby's bedroom. She woke up in the middle of the night and he was gone. She and Jody both went out in the cars to look for him. And she writes, quote, then I see R walking on the left side of the road. I called Jody to let her know. I turn the car around and stop. I get out of the car. R is shocked to see me. Get in the car. Are you shocked to see me? R nods his head and gets in. Me and R in the front. 2:45, I woke up. 3, we leave in cars. 3:14 a.m., I called Jody with R. The sun started lighting the roads just an hour and a half later. The devil wants me in prison. My children dead. I meet Jody back home. Ruby continually talks about her children being evil, possessed by demons, and unwilling to repent. She writes about locking them in closets, poking them with a cactus, making them do physical exercise for hours.
So what?
She also
I mean,
writes
that's
that
what I
Jody has
want
been
to do.
actively
Is
looking for
were
land to
they
buy in
together?
Arizona where
Were
they
they
could
separated?
really dig into fixing the kids. Can
he
you
didn't
imagine if that
have
happened? Would these kids
visitation.
even be alive? This also, I will tell you from a legal point of view, fills in a lot of those details
Yeah, there's a
that
lot
we
I
read
do.
about in their respective plea agreement documents, the specific details of abuse. And I imagine these entries are what proved what happened to these kids. And it shows how tough it would have been for them to defend themselves at a criminal trial when you have these kind of journal entries. As if the physical injuries and the accounts of the kids weren't enough. Just read this stuff. Look, this is incredibly tough subject matter. And I know I always say it, but I'm going to say it again. It is our privilege to be able to bring you these stories, to break them down for you. And the reason we're able to continually do that is because of the support that we get from our very special partners. And I just want to highlight the sponsor of this episode, Morgan & Morgan. Not all law firms are created equal. That's clear. Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. They're the biggest for a reason. You know why? Because they win
He didn't
a
get
lot.
no
And
time.
what I mean by that is
So
they don't
there's no
settle
way
for
he
lowball
didn't know
insurance
this.
offers. No, they fight for the compensation their clients deserve in injury cases, even if that means having to go to trial. In fact, they've recently secured verdicts of $12 million in Florida, $6.8 million in New York, and $26 million in Philadelphia. All of these, by the way, significantly higher than the highest insurance offers in these cases. And what else do they do so well is that they make it super easy for their clients. They have completely modernized and streamlined the process from submitting your claim to signing contracts to talking to your whole legal team. They have over 1,000 attorneys, by the way. It can all be done on your smartphone. Seeing if you have a case only takes a few minutes. So if you're injured, you can start by easily submitting a claim at forthepeople.com/LC sidebar or by dialing pound law. That's pound 529 on your phone. But now we move on to another piece of this document release. And that is when we have to talk about the jailhouse phone calls.
And these
calls are almost always recorded, and inmates and defendants, people on the other side of the line, they know this, and yet they say
something.
But we knew about these calls. Remember when Eric Clark, the Washington County attorney during Jody's sentencing, alluded to these recorded calls as evidence that Hildebrand never has showed remorse for what she did? So in these calls, which are labeled October 17th and October 18th, 2023, you hear Jody seemingly defending her actions, and there seems to be a religious justification or rationale.
It feels like I was being set up to end up here. I know that sounds bizarro. I mean, I shouldn't be here. I haven't done anything wrong. And I don't know if I'm going to be like some kind of example, but when I get out of here, I have a story to tell, and I'm going to try to do everything I can to protect the children, because that's what's happening, is that kids are being just horribly abused. Nightmare here, Dennis. Nobody wants the truth. Nobody wants the truth. Nobody wants the truth, because these kids, I told Doug, I woke up, the spirit told me, it's all the devil. I mean, you've seen him. I mean, I've known you, for 5 years? You've watched him come at me. And you're exactly right, because he knows I know what he's doing. And he uses these kids. And he uses all of us as the adults, the parents that don't hold the kids accountable. So now it's abusive to make a kid sleep on the floor. It's abusive. Or it's abusive to, that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. You can't even raise your kids anymore. He doesn't seem really animated. He seems like, the pictures are going to destroy you. And I'm like, we didn't do that. We didn't do that. Those pictures we did not do. He did that to himself, yes. Did we put that on him and then he rubbed around and cut himself? Yes. But we didn't do that.
Wow.
Oh,
the Chrome extension, everyone we'll be using in 2025.
Yo.
I feel like I just found a Google
Did I
cheat
just hear
code.
this
This
lady
Chrome
that put the
extension
blame-
lets you block ads or
It's
get paid to
the
watch
deja vu here for my
ads or get.
Wow. I want you to keep in mind that the idea of the devil and the evil spirit, keep that in mind. But the idea that either she is not taking responsibility for the injuries of the children or that it's not really abuse, this is why it wouldn't be so surprising if the Board of Pardons and Paroles may not be so quick to release Jodi. But the jailhouse phone calls weren't just from Jodi Hildebrandt. No. We also heard from Ruby Franke. And there is a bit of a progression here because listen to what she says when she's first arrested. Specifically, it seems about the kids' injuries. And this appears to be calls that she had with Kevin, Frankie, her husband, the day after she was arrested. They're labeled August 31st, 2023.
This is a witch hunt. The devil's been after me for years.
They're going to be in the hospital for 3 days.
So weird. It's just not necessary.
What?
They're trying to exaggerate this.
Well, they didn't show me any pictures or anything, but the way they described it, it was very serious.
So the way that I hear that is she is basically saying the kids' injuries are overblown.
Yes,
Which, by the
that's
way,
what
if
she's
you recall
saying.
during her sentencing,
That's what she said.
didn't she say something to the effect of the minute the officers put the cuffs on her, she had been set free, she knew that she did wrong, something to that effect? That doesn't seem to be consistent because it seems like she was still defensive and justifying what she did in the immediate aftermath of her arrest. And by the way, remember, as I said before, when she's arrested by law enforcement, she's not that cooperative. She's not even talking to them. By the way, that reference to a witch hunt and that the devil had been out for her for years could possibly be referring to the fact that the Frankies had faced controversy for some time over their videos, the allegations of child abuse. But again, in the first few days of this arrest, you hear Ruby defending not only herself, but Jodi. And the man on the call with her, Kevin Franke, or it seems to be Kevin Franke,
Yeah, we got to talk about that.
seems to be supporting her.
But the most upsetting thing is that I am completely misunderstood. That is the most horrible feeling. Like my own family misunderstands me. They misinterpret me. And poor Jodi, they misinterpret her. They misunderstand her. She puts her neck out on the line for people and then they get mad at her. I mean, it is just horrendous. It's horrendous. And you know what? Every Joseph Smith, every wonderful man of God has had to be misunderstood.
That's right.
What is it?
And so I'm going to get out of this. Who knows? Maybe in 10 days I'll get out of this.
They are
if I'm,
they comparing
if truth
themselves to
prevails
men of God.
right now, or who knows? Like 20 years? I don't know. I don't know how long. But I'm going to step out. I'm going to say I went through everything. God told me when I was driving before I called you. I didn't have any information. I didn't know anything. And the Spirit said, your children are going to be removed.
Truth in our family. And
thank you.
I am committed to our family. I'm committed to you and our marriage. No
What
matter
the
what
hell
happens,
this motherfucker saying here? Did he just say?
Thank you.
I will be here to support you in any way that I can.
Well, thank you for stepping up.
Okay, wait a minute.
If
They were
she
killing Daddy.
really believes that, yeah. We're going to get to Kevin in just a minute because he has a police interview. But I mentioned how there was this change with Ruby, defending herself, defending Jodi. That changed as time went on because this is only the next month, labeled October 27th, 2023.
I really did feel like the arrest was like a rescue. Like I just felt so many angels around, and it was like a relief. It was just really kind of surreal.
That's consistent with what she said at her sentencing, the brainwashing, her eyes finally waking up to what she had done, and that Jodi Hildebrandt had controlled and manipulated her, if you believe that. Well, listen to what Ruby says now in December 2023 on 2 separate phone calls.
I could not come out of this without his grace, without his mercy, without his help. This has been the strangest and the most miraculous intervention. It put everybody where they needed to be. It separated me from Jody, so I'm not hearing her. And I think just being gone and not hearing her has cleared a lot of things up for me. Did you see that Jody pled guilty today?
I did see that. Yes, is that a relief for you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
big relief. It's a big
Yeah.
relief. There would have been positive the other way too. Had she not pled guilty, there's enough evidence that she could have been convicted for life. But
Yeah.
that would have been messy. It would have been really messy. Jody, she can lie on her paperwork, and she probably will. I don't think she's going to give them her history. But I think in the interview, it's going to be apparent that she's mentally ill. And so that will affect how long someone, because they're looking, how repentant are you? How much responsibility are you taking? How are you aware that what you've done is wrong? And she's not. She's the only reason she pled is because she didn't want to do life. She knew I would testify. How gullible was I? Oh my gosh, how much power I gave this person, and I didn't see it. He's like, Jody denies everything. She denies having anything to do with this, and I was shocked. I was like, what? And I'm still telling Lamar, like, all of the justifications and all of the, I'm talking like a criminal. I sound like a mad person. He was so patient with me. He was so patient with me. He would just look at me and like kind of dumbfounded, like I'd said 2 + 2 is 7, and I really believed it. And he would just stare at me. I'm like, what am I saying that's so off? And but that's because I really believed it. But then when I heard that Jody was not talking like that, she was denying the whole thing, it told me she knew all along. And then I was like, crap, what am I saying? And that's when things kind of started turning. I was like, she's not been honest. I didn't know she wasn't honest. I didn't know she would lie. And it's like, what else has she been lying about? Where else have I been deceived?
And by the way, Ruby Franke had already pled guilty by this time. So again, if you believe Ruby, if you take her at her word on this call and what she said during sentencing, then she was completely manipulated by Jody Hildebrandt, right? I do wonder, after her mental health evaluation that she referenced and some of this other evidence, if it would actually help her to be released earlier than Jody Hildebrandt. It's hard to say. She did plead guilty to severely abusing her own children. So manipulation or deception or brainwashing maybe can only go so far. Okay, now moving on. In this evidence drop, there were 2 interviews with Kevin Franke, Ruby's husband, now estranged husband. He's filed for divorce. One was in person with the police at the Ivins police station on the day that Jody and Ruby were arrested and the children were taken to the hospital. And we're going to start with this first in-person interview. The police are trying to piece together exactly what is going on here. Kevin seems to not really know what's going on. He tells the police he got a call that he needed to come pick the kids up in Ivins, but he won't tell them who called him. We learned through Kevin's attorney as the investigation progressed that it was Ruby that called Kevin to say that there was an emergency, but at the time of this interview, he kept that to himself. We actually heard that before when he was speaking to Ruby about how she called him, but let's hear what he had to say to law enforcement.
So are they all living with you, or?
No, I haven't seen them for over a year.
Any of them?
No, none of them.
For a year?
Over a year.
Okay.
I've been in a separation.
From who?
From my wife and family.
What's your wife's name?
Ruby.
Ruby. When's the last time you saw Ruby?
The last time I saw her was the 18th of this month. We met to, she requested me to sign over vehicles, or the titles to the vehicles. The vehicle that she drives were all in my name.
When's the last time you physically saw Russell or Eve?
The day that I moved out, July 24th, 2022.
24th of 2022.
Or July 25th, July 25th.
So it's my understanding that at least home here in Kayenta and Ivans, have you been to that home?
No.
You've not been to that home?
No, I don't know. I don't know what's anything that's been going on.
Like, this is good, man. Like, I would love to be able to help you out with this, and like, I'm seeing the light at the end of this, I hope, because I'm unaware of your involvement in what's really going on. So for you to say that you're unaware of the status of your kids kind of makes, I know that sounds kind of crummy to you, but it sounds kind of good to me. Like, who lives in that home with your, is it ex?
Wix gives you the freedom to tell your story with a professional website that reflects
Wife, currently a separated wife? Like, who lives in that home with your children?
To be honest, I don't know. I know that she's there with 4 of the children, and our 2 older children have moved out.
Have you communicated with your wife regarding like disciplining with your kids or their care or their physical well-being?
No.
So is she doing this on her own, just telling you how your kids are?
She's not telling me anything about the kids.
The investigators ask about Jody Hildebrandt, the owner of the home where the children were found.
I got different opinions on this. One, I understand how he don't know. But 2, I still don't understand how he don't know.
Therapist and
You ain't heard from your kids. Dang.
Do you respect her?
Do I respect her? Yeah, I think she's a very honest, truthful person. Yes.
Okay.
Very honest, beautiful person. I want you to marinate on that one for a second as we get to what he says in a future interview. Kevin explains a little bit more about connections and how his wife Ruby had got involved with the business.
Are you involved with their business efforts or?
No.
Okay. So just Ruby and Jody. No
In
Kevin.
the business?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And were you involved in the 8 passengers account with your family?
Yes. I was in the videos, if that's what you mean.
I briefly learned about this 2 hours ago.
So did Ruby more so do the videos for the family?
Mm-hmm.
And how long did you guys do that for?
She started the channel in 2015. And as far as I'm aware, from the time I left, the last video she uploaded was towards the end of 2021.
Okay.
And again, I'm not aware of anything she's done since our separation.
Kevin continues to insist that he has no idea what could be going on with the kids and says he focuses on the financial side of things.
Are you aware of the physical condition
If I
of your
wasn't the
children?
person that I am, I'd have been trying to find them older kids to see what they need.
I've chosen to trust my wife with the children.
That's not my thing. I can't do that.
That was part of the agreement of our
I
separation.
do wonder
Is that you allow her to physically provide for the needs?
Will they
of
ever
the child?
come out and
Just
talk about?
removed from that, I mean, you pay support. I know this is personal questions.
And I still
but,
say I don't understand how he don't know about his kids.
I was trying to figure out like how much of a role do you play in the caretaking of specifically of those 2 kids?
I pay the bills.
Okay.
With my job, I provide the money, goes into a shared bank account.
Now, this is interesting because Kevin tells police he was dealing with a pornography addiction and that he needed to focus on his problems before returning to be with his family.
Jody and Ruby have a close relationship, and Jody saw the need for me to get help. And frankly, I agree. This space has been exactly what I need to face my own addictions and received the support and help that I've needed. And so this space has been very, very good for me.
Mm-hmm.
So when you stated that you and Ruby had this no contact that you guys just verbally agreed upon, was that an idea given by Jody that she recommended you guys have that space and not contact one another?
I'm not aware of that. The invitation for me to leave and take space was from my wife.
Again, take note of how he's blaming himself. Remember that comes up later on. Well, after more than 20 minutes in the interview room, police finally start to reveal a few details about what they discovered at this Ivan's home.
Well, you're the custodial parent of these children. I don't see why we can't explain to you why we're involved. So I don't recall the exact time, but sometime before 11 o'clock today, we received a phone call from 911 on our dispatch that a 12 to 13-year-old boy was knocking on doors in a neighborhood asking for food and water, that he was severely emaciated, that he had...
What is emaciated?
Skinny, scrawny, malnutrition, not enough food, not enough water to sustain life. So he had...
I'm sorry, what?
He had duct tape on his extremities, on his hands, on his ankles, and those were covering rope burns that were used to tie him down.
But yet he told her
Take
he's
a
going to
second
stand by her.
and think about what I just said. That's the condition of your son. Given that information, your son was taken to the hospital. A warrant has been applied and granted by the Department of Child and Family Services to remove both from your wife's care. So no one right now is going to have access to these two children based on their physical condition. Do you understand that?
I understand.
Would you condone that behavior?
Would I condone that behavior?
That's my job. My job is to find out your knowledge of the treatment of these
based
precious
on your
children.
No. Again, I don't know the details, or I don't know what's going on. But as you described that sounds
horrible, disgusting. No human being should be treated like that.
Okay.
That's my thoughts. But again, we might be
He
different.
just don't seem. Okay, I got a question for y'all. Do he seem like he is
We're gonna
as
sit here for a
upset
second, okay? We're gonna go
as
talk.
he is trying to be? Because it seems like he's trying
I'm not
to
saying
be
you're
upset,
still not free
but
to go.
he's really
Are
not
you under arrest? Absolutely
upset.
not. We just
He's
have
not
lots of questions.
shocked at work. He's here because he knows.
Okay, because
Your children are under medical care right now.
And what does that mean?
And it means that you don't have access to them. My understanding is that they are, what is that?
He makes me want to slap him.
And they will be for the next 7
There's a medical hold on them right now. So for at least the next 72 hours, based on our understanding.
At least the next 70.
They're in observation, they're being watched.
DCFS is gonna provide you that information and they can better answer your questions along those lines. That's handled through them. Okay, so we'll be back.
So I want you to think about some things though. I don't know, listen to me.
Look, a lot of questions have been raised about what Kevin did or did not know about his children.
Hell yeah, I
But
got
the
some
police
questions
leave
for
Kevin alone in the interview
too.
room for a while, where he sits quietly, sometimes crying. When the officers return, Kevin has a question.
What's going to happen with my wife? I love my wife.
Again, I see
I don't
things
know.
like
I'm being honest with you, I don't know. Haven't had an interview
I don't have those charges against my wife.
possibly.
I said, Kevin seems like those are fake tears. Like he's trying to force himself to be
I
upset.
think given the circumstances, that's highly appropriate, but again, I don't know your wife.
And I don't think
I
it's
was
worth
hoping to gain some insight from you, but I don't necessarily know that that's something you wanted to.
I trust her.
a road you wanted to travel down with me. So.
And not without legal representation.
Yeah, all right, I get it.
But I love that whack feather
I
trust.
don't like Kevin.
And so, I mean, this
And
feels
I don't
like
understand how they give Kevin those kids. Kevin's dumb.
today.
Kevin's lying.
I can tell you're caught off guard.
I thought I was just coming here to pick up my kids, and for what, I don't know what or why. I just want my kids. I just want my kids. I just want my family.
Now, Kevin was never in custody. He left shortly after this. He's never been criminally charged. He's never been named as a suspect.
I dare you to
I
let
would
me build you
named
a
as a
completely
suspect.
free e-commerce store preloaded with 20 handpicked products that are trending all.
But at a later date, Kevin had an interview with law enforcement again, and he told a very different story. Kevin seems to explain that Ruby started to speak to Jody at the end of 2018, early 2019, with the intention of her being a therapist for either one or more of the children. Some of the call is bleeped out, but that's probably why. And then you're going to listen to what happened next.
Jody always had a larger interest in communicating with the parents more than with the actual patient, which I always found curious. But her theory was if you want to help your child, you have to help yourself first, and then you'll know how to help the child. So she spoke with Ruby frequently. It got strange around the fall of 2020. The Hannahs were trying to convince and bring Ruby into thank you. Thanks. Into this organization called Connections, and that particularly were focused on things like lust versus love and healthy marriages, happier marriages, happier relationships. She invited me to go to it was like a conference or something held at Thanksgiving Point in Lehigh. And my impression at that time was this is absolute craziness. This is a bunch of man-hating women that are just looking for excuses to tear down their husbands. And I mean, that's what it felt like to me when I was in there. It was confusing because there were people that I respected a lot that were up on the stage with microphones in hand, giving testimonials of how great this was and how it changed their lives and their marriage. And like the Hannahs were among them, and so, yeah, it was confusing.
Assuming this is all true, by the way, this provides context on how the relationship started with Jody and how and why Kevin started becoming involved. And he talks about how he would join the men's groups, but he was questioning it. He didn't really think that he did anything wrong. And when he talks about that, he then refers to having a deep conversation with his wife, Ruby.
For 2 hours, Ruby very emotionally just shared how she felt in our marriage and how the things that I, over 20 years of marriage, asking for sex as a husband frequently, or asking her to wear lingerie or things like that, how that made her feel. And it was really emotional and it touched me. Like, I didn't realize that she felt so strongly about that she felt so hurt by that. And so I committed that I would really give it a go. And I stayed in the men's group. And so, in that men's group, I met with Jody every week.
And from there, he goes on to talk about a Passengers, the YouTube channel, how it fell apart, particularly after the release of the infamous video of their son, Chad, revealing he'd been forced to sleep on a beanbag for months. He says they lost 90% of their income when this channel basically fell apart. And he said how Ruby became so distraught over this, how she found validation in Jody Hildebrand. But he also said that things were actually going very well with him and Ruby. They were less intimate, but they were closer. So he started to think that this whole connection stuff may be working, and he was happy to be the guy on stage. He believed in it, which I want you to think about, because again,
Writing it down.
you're going to hear where he's questioning everything that Jody did and everything Ruby believed in. But he's also the same guy who you just heard earlier, kind of giving different answers to police in his initial interview. Just something to think about. But he does say in this interview that things took a turn when Jody revealed something at a dinner after a Connections conference.
We went out to like a dinner afterwards, and that's where Jody really opened up to the women in a private conversation that she believed she was being tormented and haunted by shadow figures every night. And that was spooky.
Then he seems to suggest that these Connections members picked Jody up and had her live with them for 6 weeks. Doesn't know what happened, but says that there were two different sides of this event. You got to listen to this.
According to Jody, she was held against her will for 6 weeks and was kidnapped, and she escaped and got out. According to the Hannahs, after 6 weeks of Jody stabbing herself with forks and knives, cutting herself, and wanting to commit suicide and trying to seduce the husband of the family, they kicked her out. I don't know what's the truth. Maybe a little bit of both. I don't know. But the point is, somewhere around mid-April, Jody was back in her home in Ivins, and she was a hot mess.
Yeah, that's something. So he says after this, Jody was a wreck and asked Ruby for help. Listen to what happened when they went to Jody's house for the first time in 2021 and how bizarre this is.
I gotta say, like, I'm a smart guy. I'm an engineer. I've designed and helped build some really big stuff. I've been a college professor. I can't explain some of the stuff that happened while we were there. Like crashes in the basement while we were talking upstairs, and plates like in the kitchen just flying off by themselves, like full speed, smashing on the wall and falling to the floor like, by themselves. I can't explain it, but I saw it with my own eyes, and I don't have any way to explain it other than there's some crazy.
Wow. A supernatural element to this was not something I was expecting. Aside from there, according to Kevin, by the way, this is bizarre stuff, Ruby was convinced that they could help Jody and intervene. And an idea came up about why doesn't Jody just live with them? Kevin says he was very resistant to that idea, but he was told he was being insensitive and selfish, so he ended up agreeing. But listen to what he says happened when she showed up at their home.
The moment she showed up in my house, just the weirdest crap started happening. Lights turning on and off, sounds of people walking in walls, and like sounds like footprints going up walls and across the ceiling, and like stuff floating around, and it was weird, and I hated it.
Look, I don't know what any of this means. It is just bizarre and it is wild to hear. But what does Kevin say happened next? He said he became the resident exorcist in the house. Yeah, that Jody had trances, visions, that she went into possession, that Ruby would go in and check on her, and that progressed into Ruby even sleeping in the same bed with Jody. And Kevin made sure to highlight that Ruby, Jody, and Pam Botcher, we have mentioned before here on Sidebar. This was another Connections employee. Actually, Ruby's middle daughters were staying with Pam and her husband when Ruby was arrested. But Ruby, Jody, Pam, according to Kevin, they would do these interventions where they locked themselves in a room for 4 to 5 hours, and then they would be on cloud 9. And Ruby would say that, wow, you know, they had this, or Jody had this amazing vision, and we have to do God's work. By the way, Pam Botcher has never been criminally charged with anything in this case. However, earlier in the interview, Kevin did say that she is tied to all of this. So then Kevin says that at one point, Jody got upset.
Okay, today, the incredible new iPhone 16 Pro built from the ground up for Apple Intelligence. I hope you were taking notes.
The new iPhone 16 Pro with Apple Intelligence. Get it with Speed Boost on
That during an intervention, Chad, their son, was in the backyard with his friends, and it turned to this whole big thing. And that is when he says Ruby, for the first time, mentioned the separation. And he talks about what an in-home separation looked like.
It was hard. Basically, there were all these rules now placed on me. Like, I could leave when I wanted, but I couldn't come back until Ruby gave me permission. I couldn't come into the kitchen to eat until Ruby gave me permission. And the upstairs where Jody roamed was completely off limits. I couldn't go upstairs anymore in my own house. And there would be, Ruby would dictate all of the terms of how our interactions would be, when we would talk, and that was hard. And it was during that time that I really became, I would say, dependent upon Ruby. Like, if she said a kind word to me, like, my whole day was made, right?
Kevin talked about how there was an apparent effort for Jody to gain control of the 8 Passengers brand, the channel, and give nothing to Ruby in return. And how their YouTube manager was like, this is a red flag. Jody is scamming you. So Kevin says Ruby fired the YouTube manager and threatened Kevin with another separation. She allegedly claimed that this is not about money, but doing God's work. All the while, Ruby went on trips with Jody and Pam. And he goes on to say how his interactions with Jody became more strained, that she isolated him, that she told him he can't be a part of the men's groups, that he needs to be alone with God. Says he started to question his sanity after all of this. And then there was this very weird interaction with Ruby.
Around that
This
time,
means he should have went to serve time. If he saw all of this going on,
why, but
yet he leave this
wanted
crazy
to
lady in the house with his
parking
kids.
lot.
Yeah, he
Wanted me to sign over titles of documents, like the 2 of our cars.
Yeah, he doing exorcism. Why he got it?
And to Ruby.
He still
I was like,
subject to do
okay,
something.
you know, I'm just not. I'm in total compliance mode at this point. Just like, I'm a good husband. You see, you can trust me, and so whatever she asked, like, sign over the cars to me, no questions, just okay. And then another thing, she was like, I might want to do an investment, but I.
Oops. Sorry about that, y'all. I don't know what.
Will need your signature. Do you trust me enough that I could get your signature if I wanted to pursue my own investment? Yeah, sure. Whatever you say.
How big of an investment? What's she talking about? What did she tell you?
She never did, and I never signed anything. She never brought anything to me. But when I returned to the house, everything was packed up, and a neighbor came over and said she asked for the HOA rules and mentioned to him that she wanted to rent the house out, which I was like, are you kidding me? And she wanted to sell the house, but couldn't because my name was on the mortgage.
Lot of
I
questions.
think that's what she was talking about.
Because I don't believe that he should not have gotten time. And why did
you know what? I
kids? Because he actually participated.
Like, that's how messed up.
In some of the craziness that led up to.
Me too. That would have been
what happened to the kids.
I can't describe to you what torture and hell it was to live it was more than a month really, in complete isolation, believing that I was like evil and manipulative and lying and selfish, and that I had abandoned my family, and that I was more interested in my selfishness than my family.
Now, in one of the recorded phone calls between Ruby and Kevin, Ruby says in light of the separation, she was thinking of ways to make money. Maybe that's why.
I'm offering you the opportunity of a lifetime.
Get Max for $2.99 a month for 6 months.
I'm gonna make you so happy.
Like he was in a prison,
Sign over
but
stuff.
yet when
We're
he was
moving to the
able to
kids.
get free,
We know
he
that
left his
Ruby and
kids
Kevin were
locked up
separated.
in there.
Kevin acknowledged that he had no idea what was happening with the kids during this summer period, that he was made to believe everything was blissful and good from Ruby.
He know
He says
better
he still
than
didn't
that.
understand how he was being accused of abandoning his family because he was like, I want to be with my family. And then, of course, we know how everything went down. But there is one more nugget from this interview that I have to share. And it is about what was found at the Ivins home of Jody
Yeah, he's
Hildebrand
lying.
when she and Ruby were arrested.
When the warrant was issued, there was a
Kevin is
bag
Kevin
with
is a
$85,000
complete
cash
sack of
in
lies.
it. And I understand her lawyer, Ruby's lawyer, has all that.
I'm not.
Which home are we talking about? Ivan, in Ivans?
In the Ivins home.
We don't know. The money was left where it was left. We didn't take it. The house was secured when we left. We're assuming that Lamar Windward was able to retrieve it, but we don't. I can't tell you.
Yeah.
One or the other.
So
He had to
here's
know
kind of
what.
the issue.
He know what. I
That
agree.
money, she
I
cleaned
mean, he's
out
sitting there
their
talking
bank
about the stuff what going
The
on.
kids say.
But he had
Yeah,
to do.
and
He
yours
was
too,
doing
the joint
exorcisms
account.
on people, man.
And that's
Come
where
on.
that money came from.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if you can have, or if I need to have a discussion with the county attorney. Kevin would kind of like his kids' money back.
Yeah. So it would
She
be
was doing. They were
simply so I
doing
would
weird
go
stuff before he left.
address
He
that.
said when he
Oh,
got out of
yes.
there,
That is something we didn't know
he felt
before.
like
Little
he was in a
discussion there
prison
about
while
whether
he
Ruby
was in
Frankie
there.
would be
But
criminally
yet you
charged
got
for
free and
allegedly
left your kids
taking
locked up.
money away from her family. There you have it. That is a
It is lots of
summary of
weirdness.
what has been released today. We are actually planning on doing more episodes that can dig deeper into each piece of evidence. So I want you to be on the lookout for that. We're going to get into that next week.
Oh,
In the
yeah.
meantime, I think the most appropriate place to end this whole conversation is with a statement from the Washington County Attorney's Office upon the release of these materials. It states, quote, the Washington County Attorney's Office is grateful for the law enforcement officers, medical personnel, caseworkers, Children's Justice Center staff, and others who were instrumental in ensuring the children's safety and administering justice to their abusers. That's all we have for you here on Sidebar, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. As always, please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Jesse Weber. I'll speak to you next time.
That was something. I mean, I still say. Let me hold on. Let me stop it real fast. Okay, where's my? There it is. I still say I don't understand how he's not locked up, how he was able to get away and keep the kids. He was in all of the 8 passenger video that we made with his bald headed head smiling right on the side. I got to go and look at some of their videos. I definitely got to look. Was TikTok sued? I mean, who actually turned them up? I mean, how I don't understand how he didn't get any time behind this. I mean, maybe they didn't give him any because he talked and told so much. Maybe that's why he did a lot of talking to keep his tail from going to prison himself. I don't know, but I don't see that was just a miscarriage of justice. Double. Yeah, I heard him. He played victim and blame. Yeah, I saw that he put everything on her. But the fact that he was there, I always thought if you was there, if somebody go and commit a crime and you was with them, you ain't even had to know that was what they were going to do. But because you was there, even if, let's say they go to rob somebody, and you was there, and the person who doing the robbing end up getting shot. Now, the person who shot the robber is not going to get no time, but you going to get time because you was there. He blamed both for it when he knew what was going on with the kids when he could have reported it himself. He was scared for his life. Yeah, but okay, he's scared. He's scared, but be scared for them babies. He should have never left without them kids. There's no way I'm gonna leave my kids in danger like that for over a year. He should have had some time. He should have got some time for coming up in there talking to the police the first time and lied like he didn't know nothing. That she was just good person and this good wife. Then turn around later and tell the story of a lunatic. That makes no sense to me. And he will find another wife just like her. Now, isn't that scary? And he got the kids. That just such a terrible miscarriage of justice. Terrible. I mean, the kids probably breathing a sigh of relief right now because they're away from their nuts old mama. But their daddy don't seem too bright either. He may start doing that same stuff because he was doing it. What man would follow that mess up? That should have been a red flag to the police, that statement he made. Thank you. He should have been arrested. Yes, he should have been arrested for so many things. Lying, just his story itself. He participated in some kind of way and then left the house when he was free. Let's just say he was being held hostage, like he said. He felt like he was prisoner or hostage. But anyway, when he got free, why didn't he go to the police station and tell them what's going on in that house and that his kids in there? He didn't do that. He didn't do that at all. No, he should have got time. He was a part of the problem and didn't find a solution for his children, so he blamed the shitty wife. And that's exactly what he did to keep himself from looking like trash. But to me, he's still trash because he should have just shut his mouth and not said anything. I'd have lied and said I was never there. And but he can't do that because he in videos. Yeah. Mm-mm. Did they sue TikTok? Because I mean, I got to go back if they still got her videos up. I'm gonna go back and look. I'm at the binge watching and see what's going on. That might be who I'm gonna be reacting on for a little while. If I can find her videos, I'm gonna start at the beginning and I'm work my way through because I don't get this. Oh yeah, dang, it's on TikTok. I got to figure out how to work TikTok. I hate that site. Oh, I hate that site. I hate Instagram too, but I'm gonna try to go on TikTok. I'm gonna have to find that. Yeah. That is it. Oh yeah. Let me try and see if they'll give me that movie back. They might give it back. I don't know. They might give it back to me. Let's see if I can get that movie back real fast. Let's see. I think the son is getting money from what's happening, but I'm sure how much they get. But they need to get something. Something they need, yeah, they should for the rest of their life. Him and his sister need to be taken care of. TikTok need to be taking care of them for the rest of their life. Yeah. Oh, that's I wonder how the people feel who was clicking them like buttons. Because they say she was getting views. So I wonder how those people feel who've been clicking that like button. Now that's not a good feeling. I would not want to be them. I definitely wouldn't want to be them. That's Oh, that's terrible. That is terrible. Hold on for 1 second. Type in something. Where is it? There you go. We're going to try it one more time. Let me fast forward it a little bit. Okay. So it's hold on 1 second. Let me see. Can I fix this again? Yeah, Mike can get it to do right for us. Where I started at, where we stopped. See if I can draw a woman to get her run.
Welcome to Nissan. Are you interested in
a test drive?
Absolutely.
There's the all-new Kicks, the new Frontier, and the Nissan Rogue, a Best Buy 10 years in a row. Hurry into the Nissan Year
I
in
would
Sales event.
love to see him get plugged up. And we're gonna talk. We're gonna run out. Yeah, they stopped it again. While we talking, I'm gonna set up a rave thing, and I'm gonna drop the link where y'all can get it, and y'all can meet me over there, and we're gonna finish watching this movie tonight. If y'all want to, I'm gonna leave the link in the I'm gonna drop the link in the chat so we can go over and watch that. Yeah. Dang that. They keep want to mess with us. They keep trying to mess with us. They're making me sick. Let me see if I might can find women. You did send me another link. We can look at that while we wait. Let's see. Hold on 1 sec. Let me get something pulled up right. There was another case I wanted to look at. Yes, before I forget. Before I forget. Where is hold on, y'all. Let me find it. There we go. Let me pull it up. Is this the one? Okay, here it is. Here it is. Okay, wait, no. And I think the same people, I think what do you call it, the Crime Network, I think they did a thing on it. This lady here was a nutcase. Let's see. Here, is this it? Is it? All right, y'all. Just gonna hit the share. Hit the share. Where is my other phone? All right, y'all. Thank y'all for watching that with me. What time is it now? It is 3:06. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. No. I'm looking at the wrong time. It is 1:04. So we're going to take a little peek. Let's see what's going on over here. We're going to take a peek and see what's going on YouTube. Let's take a little peek. See what everybody doing. Let me go in. See who's live tonight. Hey, yeah, we're going to see who's live tonight. Let's see, live. Put lives. Let's see who's live. Let's see. Breaking comedian threatens to expose. Nope, don't want to see that. Why are some blacks against reparations? What? Trying to find something juicy that we can dig into and be nosy. Y'all wait on me. Don't leave me yet. Don't leave me yet. Y'all want to hang in? I'm willing to hang in with you. I'm willing to hang in with you. See what kind of gossip they got going on for the streets. Let's see who this is. No. No, that one's not interesting to me. Let's see. Hold on one more second, y'all. Let me get this up. Okay, let's see. I think it's this one. I think it's the one. This is a live. This is one.
We did Knockout Kings of Comedy event, October 8th. You know what I'm saying? So we, you know, we coming up. It's over a year now, but I may do it in December, but I may do January, February. We're just working it out. So you know,
January, February would be good.
yeah,
Definitely.
so
I'm a St. Patrick's Day baby, so that'll be like if you do it in February, it'd be right.
That sounds like somebody trying to get a love connection, and that's not what we're about. So, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and end this thing for tonight. End this for tonight. All right, guys. I want to thank y'all for hanging with me as long as y'all did. I know it wasn't many of us, and that's all right. I don't care. Just a few. I still had fun talking and watching the movies when they didn't shut us down. But we got us some stuff going. I think I'm gonna stay with domestic violence and family abuse. I think I'm gonna do this all this week coming. I think I'm gonna do every night. I'm gonna come live every day and do a story about abuse, and we can talk about it. I'm gonna ask questions. I'll probably do like I did tonight, type some of my questions up at the top of the chat or during the chat, and y'all can answer them. I'm gonna answer what I think. I probably ask y'all some questions because I want to know what y'all think. Don't wait for me to ask. Volunteer. If at any time y'all want to come up on the link, on the panel, which I actually like better because I can hear you and I won't miss what you say, because sometimes if I'm talking, I don't be reading or I don't see it. But anyway, I'm gonna say good night to y'all. Thank you for sitting outside on the porch with me tonight, just chilling outside in the country, watching a little bit of movies and TV on the projector screen. country style, a sheet. We watching it on the sheet. We don't have no projector, just a sheet. We don't have the screen. We just got the sheet, but we watched it. So I'll see y'all back here tomorrow, and this time I will set a time so it won't pop up on nobody. I'll set a timer. Okay. I'm still probably gonna run over there to rave. If y'all want to join me at rave, just come to put on just type rave in the comment section of my page, and I will put the link in there. Other than that, I'm getting ready to go and watch me some more TV, some movies on rave. All right, I love y'all. Good night. Let's see now. Let's figure out how to end this live. Okay, there we go. Did I do it right?